how to use social media most effectively in your philanthropy efforts. I know that we all know that it can either be super powerful tool or it can be a big time suck, a waste of our time. And hopefully through some of what we're going to walk through with you today, you will find out some best practices, how to avoid wasting time and money and energy, but how to know what to do to maximize our efforts in regards to impact and philanthropic revenue. We're going to explore, like I said, best practices, and we are going to hear from, I have three of you planning to share with us some of your experiences, your strategies, and what's been working and what maybe you've learned. So with that, I'm going to hand it over to Shauna to get us started.
Thank you so much, Marty. We are actually going to flip the script here and give you key takeaways in the beginning. So if you want to just listen with me here while I go through our key takeaways that you can kind of keep in the back of your mind as we're going through this. I love this first one. We love to use social media to get out of raising money. How true is that, right? We utilize social media as an excuse to not do what our day job is. Let's not do that. We're going to teach you how to not do that, but let's focus on not using that as a tool. It is helpful, but it is not a replacement for raising money. Why is that? Because we are relational fundraisers, right? And relational fundraising does not happen over social media. Should only occupy a tiny percentage of our time. We have a pie of time that we use in order to raise money, and social media should be a very tiny sliver of that. Very well done, but it should be a very tiny percentage of that. So we should automate and schedule posts as much as possible. Yes, let's be efficient with our time. We all need to be more efficient with our time, right? Getting creative with different ways and means is a time suck. How do we go back to that first one? Using it as an excuse to get out of raising money. Let's get creative. Let's think of all these different billions of ways that we can post on Instagram, or we can post on Facebook, or we can post on TikTok, or we can do all these different things that really just take up our time. Stick to the basics. Do them the best. Do them consistently. Set your goals. I love this one because it's so tangible. Setting your goals. So let's say that we have 10 dedicated followers, and our goal is to get to 2,500 by the end of December. And we do that. And we successfully raised our dollars raised from $10 to $25. Was it worth it? No, we're able to tangibly see that that was not in fact worth it. So I love that, setting goals, because you're able to measure by benchmarks. Jake, next slide, please. We do want to talk through some of the rebuttals, because I know that there are rebuttals to this whole concept of social media being a small part of our pie. So our first one, okay, Pride, but we are able to reach way more people if we focus on social media as compared to face-to-face asks. Oh, okay, but we are fundraisers. We're reaching them in a much less personal or meaningful way, right? So whatever we're able to do on social media, we can do 100 times more effectively in person. We can stretch our time and our resources further if we're not focused on social media. Also, would make the argument that we are not in it for large national recognition. Any of us, really. This isn't a popularity contest. It's about connecting in a meaningful way and really translating our missions into support. Our goal's not to reach as many people as possible for tiny gifts. Our goals, all of us on this call, our goals are big and they are aggressive, and sometimes they're scary, and they're also really exciting. And we need 7, 6, 5-figure gifts, prospects. We cannot reach our goals by finding the people stalking our social media. It's not a popularity contest. And let's be honest, even if it was, wouldn't we win if we were in the room with them, sharing our stories and our impact pieces and letting them hear from us? So this is an effort to really make sure that we are sitting down with people face to face, as compared to trying to find space in their brains in between the puppy videos and the funny memes. So, okay, Jake, next slide, please. Okay, but Pride, It's time effective. It's so efficient to be able to post on social media. Is it? It's a surface level story at best, right? So let's flip this around. I just want to challenge you a little bit here to flip it around, that we really are interested in the donor on the other side of the screen, right? So through social media, even if they make a gift, we're not able to learn about them. We're not able to capture their connection to us. So much is left on the table, even if they make a donation that's spurred on by the lovely connection of social media, and we have done such a good job of it, that we still have to reach out to them, and we have to connect with them, and we have to start from ground zero, which technically I would argue adds time to the process if we are really trying to translate them into a big donor. Okay, next slide, please, Jake. Why not more social media? It's easier than setting up solicitation calls and asking for money. Okay, so what about this? It's way easier. It's less scary than asking for money. Okay, well, so that's fair. You're probably not going to have to ask directly for money there, but you're also probably not going to raise much money there. And I would challenge you that that's your job. If asking for money still knocks the wind out of your sails a little bit and makes you a little bit nervous, you let us know, because that's what we're here for. And please know that that is okay. Even veterans get butterflies on occasion, depending on the situation. And it's always important to practice those asks, rehearse, practice the buddy system, talk it out. And that's what we're here for, to help you confidently make those asks and further your mission. We do not want to use social media as a way to ask for money without actually having to ask for money, right? And I can promise you the answers that we have in order to help you raise more money would not be post more on social media and make it be 50% of your pie, right? There is a right place. There is a right way. And we suggest the following. Take it away, Jake.
Thank you. So as Shauna mentioned, we just spent a whole bunch of time telling you why it's not good, but there are actual ways that you can use it to optimize and help you. So we're going to walk through some actual specifics, starting with the how, the what, and the why. So first question we always get is, how much time should we spend then? If we're not supposed to spend much time, we say if you have a 40-hour dedicated work week where you're primary or only responsibility is fundraising, you could probably sacrifice up to an hour. Early Monday mornings, late Friday afternoons, go ahead and schedule all your posts for the week. It does not take long to do the type of post that can be consumed in 8 seconds. And that's the kind of thing, if you're scrolling through LinkedIn, Facebook, you get the attention span for just a couple of seconds. So if it's a novel of a post, typically you're not going to get that from the receiving end anyway. So take that less than an hour, set up everything for the week or for 2 weeks as a place to start, but really don't exceed outside that. You'll want to pick a time slot that's not going to be interrupted by another meeting, so that you can dedicate that 25 minutes or 30 minutes, or it's not going to interrupt a donor call and be like, well, I was going to go have lunch with the donor, but this is my social media hour, so I can't do that. So just being a little bit aware, a little bit careful of that. And always, if you take nothing else away from this entire presentation, it's consistency over volume. Posting every single week indefinitely is worth so much more than 4 or 5 posts a week for a couple of months, just in terms of engagement, in terms of increased followers, in terms of everything. Being consistent is so much more important than doing volume. We kind of talk about this in a lot of different examples, but it'd be like if you tried to get all the month's workouts done on Tuesday, you'd be really tired, but then I'm good for the month. I don't have to work out again the whole rest of the month. It's well, it might be better for me to go for a walk couple times a week for the whole month. And that might be better for my health in the long run. So just really being aware of how we allocate our time in that way. What should we post? We will talk through this because we have some specific examples from our guest presenters at the end. But here are the things that we've seen have high engagement and high return. So you can just kind of screenshot this list, or we'll send you the slides, but these are the types of things we see that are successful specifically from nonprofits. Is recognition first and foremost. If we can talk about our donors and show off, hey, this is so-and-so, they gave this is why they give, this is a little testimonial. The first thing that will happen is that person will share it. If they have someone talking about them on social media, LinkedIn, Facebook, whatever, they will share that to their friends, and suddenly all of their friends see that they're involved with your organization. That goes huge. It's free marketing for you. And it's really easy. A single quote, a little video clip, a photo, and just something that does not take long to manufacture. And hopefully we have enough donors who are willing to share their story that we could have one of these a month for the year, certainly. Success stories. You want to be a little bit careful you're not overlapping with what marketing is doing. They probably have strategies and initiatives if that's a separate department for your nonprofit. But to talk about specifically in philanthropy, what's going on right now? What are your success stories? What's happening? The money that you raise, how are you able to apply it? Who are you able to help? The next donor list. Here are donors of the month, new members of the whatever club. Here they are. Volunteer spotlights. We often overlook the chance to thank our volunteers who are giving time and money, but to talk about them and give them a chance to talk about why they're involved. Event invitations is an easy one. This is one that you can spread the word. People could quickly see, oh yes, I want to come to this event or not. Doesn't hurt to make a Facebook event for things. Certainly a good best practice there that's not very time consuming. Videos and photos of human faces. I don't know if any of you are on YouTube a lot or watch YouTube videos or see the homepage of YouTube. You'll notice that the thumbnail, which is just the box that has the first image, the box that they use, hey, click on this video, almost always will have a human face in it. Something about our psychology, we're programmed for our eyes to snap to human faces. So if there's text and colors and pictures, if you see a human face, it is the first thing your eye is drawn to. It's just something evolutionary about it. So people will intentionally put human faces in their thumbnails to catch the eye of the people who are watching and get more people to click. And this has been proven because there's great data all the way across every social media platform. So if you can get a human face in your post in somewhere or another, whether that's a video or just a photo headline, people are much more likely to stop and look at it. So just like an easy psychology trick to use there. If you can, try to sneak in a call to donate or some kind of call to action. But when you do, just a couple of optimizations to look at always. Try to have some time expiration, like not donate today, period. People, oh yeah, I'll donate tomorrow. But if you say, hey, donate by Friday and have your gift matched or have your gift doubled, or our deadline to meet our goal is, you can make up a deadline. The sense of urgency you can instill in the time expiration, you can totally make up, but it's the same thing in what you use with sales tricks. You're like, oh, this offer expires by Tuesday. So people are like, well, maybe I should engage a little bit more. Maybe I should click and read about it. So some kind of time expiration when you're calling people to donate. Something specific to fund, not give to our organization today and help. Hey, we're trying to fund these 3 things by next Thursday. Click here to make a donation in support of the blank and blank project, but make it very, very specific. And hopefully within 1, maybe 2 clicks from that post, they're already on the credit card screen on your website. So if you can have those things in your kind of call to donate, you find that your percentage of donations will go way up in comparison to your post. Next question we get all the time is, where should we post? What websites? What matter? And our easy answer is just post where the people are. Wherever your constituency is, that's where you should be posting. And to make it a little easier for you, so you don't have to guess, here's just a quick graph. Again, not going to go completely through this because you can kind of read this on your own. But you want to post where and only where your target donor audience is. This is the top 7 in terms of total volume, in terms of total people on the site in the US every year. These are the top 7 social media networks. And who should your general content target? So Facebook, largest age group, 25 to 34. This is kind of a appeal to the masses. You know, TikTok is younger. Twitter's tends to be higher education, higher income, not always, but that's the bigger demographic there. LinkedIn is business to business. So if you're trying to solicit anything for business, this is the one and only one you should use. Pinterest, very highly female based, almost 80%. Snapchat, also younger. And then YouTube, almost have to have your content curated as infotainment. So a little bit tougher for nonprofits, but this gives you some idea. Generally kind of lean Facebook, maybe LinkedIn a little bit, occasionally Twitter. That's kind of the general recommendation for nonprofits. And this kind of illustrates why. You can post all day on Twitter and TikTok, but if you're not reaching your target demo, it's not going to generate leads. It's not going to generate donors. It's not going to generate volunteers, anything. So instead of trying to do all of these really well, pick the couple that you know your constituency is on and just focus in on those specifically. Want to illustrate one more thing here about demographics. This Venn diagram, this is people on most social platforms. The majority of the demographic and then older donors with the ability to give larger gifts, there is very little overlap here. So you can get the word out, you can access people, but if you're expecting to get major gifts from Facebook or any of the other social platforms, it's going to be 1 in a million. It's probably not going to happen. If it does happen, please let us know. We want to know how and why. But we know that this is kind of a mass marketing, kind of touch a lot of people one time, and not necessarily having those meaningful cultivation relationships to get a 5 or 6 figure gift, especially 7-figure gift. People don't do those size of gifts online typically. All right, last question that we get a lot is third-party campaigns. Can we run a Facebook campaign? Can we have another website do this? Just some quick data. You can read more. I have the links below so you can read more about this, but just kind of pulled the highlights here. For every $100 in this country that's given in online revenue, about $1.77 of that is raised through Facebook. And that's one of the largest. So you can see it's pretty well split out. And when you look at, if I bring in about this much for my online donations or my credit card deducts every year for my charity, I can expect like 1 to 3% maybe of that coming from Facebook. It's not a ton. 88% of donors who have given through Facebook do say they will give again. So if you do have a base on Facebook who gives every year on Giving Tuesday, it is definitely worth it to post again because most of those people will donate again. So the base that's there, not big, but the people who do give in that way prefer to give in that way, and will do so in a recurring way for sure. This is just the way that Bloomberg and Global Trends and M&R benchmarking group small, medium, and large nonprofits in terms of followers. Small have like 8,000 plus. So if you're like, we feel like we're big or we feel like we're doing well, it's like still considered small overall. Medium is 32,000. Large have 109. Large is like American Cancer Society, St. Jude, that kind of thing. We're going to have those. So Facebook posts only reach an average of about 4%. To get more than that, you have to pay. That's how Facebook makes their money, is to put users in front of your business. They sell eyes, basically. So without any paying, you get about 4% of your total market. And then for a profit estimate saying, okay, how many followers do we have? Let's say we have 1,000 followers, just to make it easy. We have 1,000 followers on our charity. We post something to donate. Take about 4% of that, about 4% of your followers will see it. So 40 people will see it. And then 1 to 10% of that group will actually give. So you may have 4 or 5 people and not even for sure. So even you think, we're going to put this out and 1,000 people will respond. It's like not even 50 people will see this post. And it's not your fault. Facebook intentionally suppresses this because they want you to pay, and you can, but just be aware that when you're running these third-party campaigns, it is profitable when your following is large. It is not profitable when your following is under 1,000 people, under 5,000 people. And so, we get occasional questions about crowdfunding. Early in the pandemic, I did what I felt was fairly successful crowdfunding campaign to start a drum corps that didn't exist, and want to just draw your attention to the number of backers that we had. So yeah, we raised $50,000, but it was for almost 2,300 people donating, and we ran like aggressive social media campaign for a month. We spent hours and hours and hours and hours. This was, you can see, May of 2020. So we had no ability to go in person. We did not know if you could ask for money over Zoom yet. We were still learning. All of us were. And the average donation size was like $5, $10, $15. So it's a ton of work for those slow rolling campaigns. So it's something specific. It's got a finite time. We ran this for just a month and we were able to do this. But this is kind of the exception to the rule because it was pandemic and it was a ton of people and we had a big following already. We had like tens of thousands of people, and of those tens of thousands of people, a tiny percentage, a couple thousand people donated, and this was kind of like the maxed out version of that. So just a little bit of caution as you go into do the crowdfunding things. Oftentimes it's better to push them to your website directly and have them do a credit card deduct. Okay, final thoughts before we turn it over to our guest presenters. Always, text is good. Pictures are better and videos are best in terms of engagement, in terms of likes, in terms of shares. You can pretty much bet on it being better in this order. So text is fine, but if you can get a human face in there, all the better. If you can get some sort of video, even a selfie video that's not edited, all the best. When you have any post on anything ever, have some kind of call to action, even if it's in the description of the post. It should be like or follow or donate or share this post or share your favorite blah, 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 but have some kind of engagement suggestion so that the content offering isn't just, hey, look at this, and then people keep scrolling. You, as much as you can, want them to linger on that post and do something with it. So have some kind of specific call to action and have a goal with each post. We want to increase our total following. We want to drive people to our website. Whatever that is, make sure you identify it in advance and build the post around that goal. Speaking of goals, start with an overall goal. As Shauna mentioned early on, it's not, oh, we're doing social media because we're checking a box. We have to do social media because they said we should, or maybe it feels good, or everyone else is doing social. Let's do it. Instead, we want to say, okay, we're doing social media because by the end of the year, we want to break 1,000 followers. That's a very specific and tangible thing. Or we want to raise at least $1,000 this month, or $5,000 for Giving Tuesday. But make a specific goal, numerical goal in mind. And then all of your posts, hopefully, should support that goal directly. And you can very easily track all the way through the year how things are working. They give you great engagement tools, but just posting for the sake of posting generally doesn't get you anywhere unless you're supporting a specific initiative. Be very selective about your platform and time commitment, saying, I'm not going to just do social media, quote unquote. I'm going to go very, very specifically on LinkedIn and Facebook, and I'm going to spend 40 minutes a week on it. And that's what I'm going to do. And we're going to see where it gets me. If you can create a social media calendar saying, here are the posts, we're going to do 1 post a week or 2 posts a week. Here's exactly what we're going to do for the next 3 months. That way you can automate things, do things ahead of time, and you're not having to sit down and think about what you should post every week. It's just like, okay, we already know that Giving Tuesday is going out next month. We got our event coming up. We're going to invite people to that. But take a second, plan it all out, and then just have it be kind of an automated part of your Monday morning or Friday afternoon to get through it. One thing we know works really well, and we have good data to support this, is that holidays specific to giving and holidays specific to your mission work really well. They get trending, they get shared around. It's kind of a social expectation to participate. So look at the calendar of all the days that apply to your charity. Like, we know Giving Tuesday is the biggest. 30% almost of all online giving in the whole year happens just on this day. So you definitely want to post at least on that. If you do nothing in social media, at least send something out on Giving Tuesday to try to get something, because that's where a lot of dollars come in. But you have like World Health Day, International Nurses Day. There's a Doctors Week. So whatever days apply to your nonprofit specifically, see if you can get those on the calendar and pick ones that are actually relevant to your cause, because that will kind of automatically boost. And then last slide here before I transition, work on your engagement. So it's not just about how much do I post, it's how much do people interface with my stuff. So if you're thinking about measuring your metrics from how much people are interacting with you, not how much you're interacting with them, saying, oh, we hit our goal, we get 8 social media posts this month. It's like, yes, but compare your engagement in April to March. Did that change? Because that's the actual measure of success. Keep in mind, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, all of these, their only goal is to keep people on their platform so they can sell more ads. They don't care about your cause. They don't care about people. They care about nothing. They care about keeping eyes on their content. So if your post is engaging and it keeps people around, they will share your post more. They'll put it in front of more people. But keep in mind, their only goal is to keep people on the platform. So make sure your post supports that goal so that they'll support you. Start very small and very consistent. 1 post a week, something super simple. You want to grow your base of followers, content, information, get people used to your stuff, and then you can kind of transition to donations. If you're asking for donations when you have 9 followers, you are spending way more time creating that post than you're going to get money in for sure. If you do want to grow quickly and you want to give yourself a boost, you should expect to pay for ad revenue. This is not something that we necessarily recommend or not. But again, you get about 4% of the eyes of your following. Say, oh, I have 1,000 followers. If I post something, 1,000 people will see it. No, 40 people will see it approximately. Facebook tests it and say, hey, we'll try it out on these 40 people. If 30 of them scroll right past it, they say, okay, that post wasn't very interesting. We're not showing it to anyone else. To get around that, you can pay a couple cents, 25 cents, 10 cents for people to see your stuff more often. And if you're trying to support something specific, sometimes it's a good idea, sometimes it's not. But keep in mind that the product that the social media companies are selling is us. We are the product. Like, why is Facebook free? Facebook's not free. They're selling us to companies. They're selling our attention to companies. And we have to keep that in mind as we move forward. So with that, I'll see there's a couple chat comments. Yes. So Steph, Instagram kind of counted under the same Facebook umbrella. So we're looking at Meta overall. Great question. Where are the 40-year-olds? Facebook. So those largest age demographics were not obviously the only age demographics. You're 40 to 60, primarily Facebook. And there was, same question. 40-year-olds. Okay, so with that, I'm going to transition it over back to Marty so we can talk about some of our favorite posts that you all have done in the last couple of years.
Thank you, Jake. So I'm excited. I have Megan Swigert with Frederick Health, Chris Rollins with Samaritan Hospice in New Jersey, and Donna Steins with West Tennessee Healthcare. Each of them are going to share a little bit about their overall approach to social media, what their experiences have been, because they are some of those people that we see out there consistently doing things. And then with the couple of samples that each of them have on the screen to share with you, I've asked them to tell us a little bit about what the goal was. You know, we talked about we should have a goal. We shouldn't be posting just a post. So what was their goal, and was it effective for what they were seeking to achieve or not? So Megan, if you can go ahead and unmute, you are first.
Thank you, Marty. Yes, so I run our social media. And the difference with with the Frederick Health development is we are a department of the hospital, where I know several others are separate foundations. We fall underneath of the hospital umbrella. So it took us a long time just to get our own Facebook page. To have any other form of social media, I don't even think marketing would approve it, because I think marketing really wants to take this back. So we have to be very careful in what we post. And Jake, thank you for all of your tips, because I go from being really consistent, having great information, to completely silent. So I need to get better about scheduling it. That is always helpful and a pleasant surprise when it pops up that your scheduled post was posted. I'm like, oh, I forgot I did that. But last year on February 5th, we did the Wear Red for Women. We did it again this year, but this one was more fun because we were working on a hybrid type. So some of us were in the office, some were at home. So we did our staff meeting, our team meeting in the morning, which is what you'll see at the bottom, the four of us. And then we came in the office later for, I think we had something else to do at the hospital. So we were showing, they put it on our internal intranet. But what we asked were, tag us in your photos. And then we shared a lot of our donors who also wore red. So there were separate, like our corporate members. There were banks, there were other philanthropy organizations that support the hospital, and we in turn reshared theirs, and they loved it. Their social media person got notified that we shared it, then they shared ours. So it just created a good community support on Facebook. And then when you have a team of 4 women sharing Go Red for Women, it was a great message. But then we made a point to share a lot of the men who were wearing red for women as well. So if they tagged us or we did it or we saw it, we would try to share it as well. So that helped a lot. The other one on the right is the Giving Tuesday. We've never really done a lot for Giving Tuesday until last year. A lot of our senior leadership brought it up that they were seeing other organizations do it. So, well, it's our first time doing it. And as all of you, we operate on this giving club structure. We weren't expecting a large return, but it's more of just being aware, the awareness that, hey, the hospital is a not-for-profit. A lot of people don't know that. I can't stress to you enough how I'm not in any way this graphic designer. I'm very fortunate that we have someone on our team who helps me with this, but our marketing team can't do all of that. So if you go on the Giving Tuesday official website, they link all of the tools to Canva. Canva is free, and that's all I used at the time, but now you can get the pro version for free if you're a not-for-profit. Wish I would have known that after we paid our $100, but live and learn. I use all of the templates on Canva that Giving Tuesday offered on there. I didn't create anything. I didn't have to bother anyone else who has all of these skills. I used everything and it was free. I had several people reach out afterwards because we followed the template on Giving Tuesday. It said post to every hour. And for someone who we'll post a couple times a week. Posting every hour is time consuming, but I dedicated what I felt like were 2 full days where I just sat in front of the computer on Facebook, created the posts and scheduled them out every single hour. And I tried to mix them up with some videos. The one you see here is a quote from one of our volunteers, as well as a member of our giving club, our Good Samaritan giving club. And we got so many people who just commented on it. We didn't bring in a lot of money, but we got a lot of awareness out there. A lot of people recognize that, we are a not-for-profit. So for that was our goal. It wasn't financially, it was just to bring awareness. And even at the end of the day, I was still like, I scheduled them up until like 11:55 p.m. Like, stop scrolling on your Facebook feed. Don't forget to donate. We tried to make some of them funny. We had quotes from our president, from our vice presidents, our CEO. It was really helpful, and those did well. And people just started to see it. It's also helpful is on Facebook, it will give you in the business section scheduler, it gives you a time and it says, here is when your viewers are most active. So I'm scheduling them in the morning, but then it showed me that our viewers and our followers are more active at 8:00 p.m. And I'm thinking, oh my God, this is a whole day. They don't see it. But other people aren't sitting in front of their computer all day or don't have access to Facebook. So they're not looking at it until 8 p.m. And when I started to follow what Facebook was actually recommending for me, then our followers increased, then our likes increased and our shares. They were actually really looking at it at 8:00 p.m., not at 8 a.m. when I was scheduling it. So it was a big difference. And there are just simple tools that are there for you that don't cost anything. You don't need to have extensive social media knowledge to do a lot of the free templates. And now that we are using Canva, it has changed so many of our designs and our templates. I just type in Facebook post and it comes back with all sorts of different templates. If it's St. Patrick's Day, little holiday, whatever it is. I can't stress enough how simple that was for an average person just to use.
Thank you so much, Megan.
Yeah.
Some great tidbits there. Really appreciate you sharing. Next, I'd like to hand it over to Chris Rollins. Chris, again, just kind of your overall strategy and what you were looking to achieve with these 2 posts, what your goal was, and if it was effective for you or not.
Sure, Marty. Thanks. Nice to see some old friends, or as I should probably say, friends that I've known a long time. Pretty funny that you ask a boomer about social media. So here's what I think I know. Giving Tuesday's dead, at least from a fundraising perspective. Last year they had about a 9% increase, raised 2.7, less than 0.5% of the dollars given away, right? So whoever said earlier, this is not going to raise money, right? When I think of the purposes of social media, raising money doesn't even make my list of things that we should be thinking about its capabilities for. So ration your time and your attention and your expectations accordingly. So I think social media is used or can effectively be used for recognition and stewardship, for storytelling, and that one needs an exclamation point, right? We know storytelling is a powerful thing. Social media lends itself to that, and to direct traffic, right? To drive traffic to your page, whether that's your donate page, your blog, your online publications, details about other things like how to include your charity in your will and that sort of thing. We found effectiveness, and these are a couple examples. I honestly, Marty, had forgotten what I sent you, so thanks for putting these up here. When you tag other people, Jake talked a little bit about this, right? Getting some viral reach out of this only happens if other people share it, right? If you only have 1,000 Facebook followers and you're not tagging, it's not going anywhere. So if you're lucky, some small percentage of your followers even see what you posted. So you've got to tag, and you can tag on all of these platforms. So you can tag on Facebook, you can tag on LinkedIn, and as well as, of course, Twitter. So don't limit your understanding of thinking that Twitter is the only one that does this. These are both Facebook page posts, by the way, but you'll see that one is a different organization, right? Patriot Fund as a donor to us. So that's an example of, rather than them sharing our post, we're sharing theirs. But that's a little video clip of me talking about the work that we do in Veterans Hospice. The result here was we're nurturing and sustaining a relationship with a funder, and we get an annual not inconsequential grant from them to drive our hospice care for veterans. So really consequential. The other one there is, again, that's a Samaritan Facebook post. This is an author who also is a clinician here who wrote a book about caregiving. And we get a portion of those sales. Again, the intent here is not to drive the pennies we get on the sale of a self-published book, right? I'm self-published. I didn't get rich doing that, I can promise you. It's to draw attention, right? To bring traffic back. So people that know Pepper there, who's the author of this book, and it's a great collection of his short stories about providing care, learn a little bit more about what we do in the process. So help other people help you. We use LinkedIn pretty successfully, especially around event sponsorship, right? We're in the very early going for golf. We only do 2 events. That's how we like it. And we'll tag our sponsors there and thank them. And in so doing, we drive traffic to the golf page. And that's the intent of that. By tagging those sponsors, most of them will repost those same things because we're patting them on the back. They get to see or show themselves as being a responsible corporate citizen and aligned with a trusted, beloved local not-for-profit. So make sure that that you do that, and then look for those partnerships. Look for those logical partnerships. But again, to come full circle, I would just say ration your time, ration your resources, ration your expectations, because if you're looking at this straight fundraising, you're going to be disappointed, and others are going to be disappointed. So while probably everyone on this call gets that, I amplify it to help you manage the expectations of others, right? Just like you don't want your board to come in and say, hey, here's this new thing, go write a grant for that. Don't sit quietly by or allow the space in which unrealistic expectations can be set. Hey, Giving Tuesday, go raise us, 6-7 figures. Not going to happen. Thanks, Marty. Hope that's helpful.
Super helpful. Thank you so much for those perspectives, Chris, and your experiences. Really appreciate it. And last but definitely not least, I've got Donna Steins with West Tennessee Healthcare. And I know Donna has had some similar challenges to Megan in the whole marketing sphere. So Donna, share a little bit about what you've been able to do with social media.
Yes, so we do have several challenges when it comes to marketing and using Facebook pages. We do have a Facebook page here at the foundation. Our hospital has a Facebook page, and our hospice group has a Facebook page. So when we post, which we try to do often, anywhere on Facebook, it could be 1 to 2 times a month, and that depends on which site we use. It could be the hospice page, and a lot of times if we post on the healthcare foundation page, our hospital system will share it. Right now, we're in the middle of Doctor's Day month, and that's what you're seeing here. Dr. Garrison Smith is one of our surgeons, and so we are highlighting a doctor each week of the month leading up into Doctor's Day, asking for donations in honor of doctors. And so, so we're putting out their stories. The doctors have all submitted like what they do, how long they've been with the healthcare system, and we're sharing those every week out. And so we've had lots of success as far as getting our awareness out and people getting to see who our doctors are. We do have a donation site at the bottom of the post, but really the ultimate goal here is to make sure that we are highlighting and recognizing our doctors, and especially through this past 2 years and what we've all been through, and really highlighting those doctors and the things they do every day in their jobs. And then the second post here is so we do Giving Tuesday, which is in the fall, but this year, at the weird day of February 2nd of 2022, we decided to jump on that and do Giving 22 Tuesday. So we have we really promoted out to our board, our philanthropy council, and just to our volunteers, and utilize our social media accounts to promote Give $22 today for that day. And we saw some success with that. So we try to use our social media to really bring awareness and educate our volunteers and our donors on who we are and what we do. We do also do Instagram. And then we do have LinkedIn page. I will say I try to post as much on LinkedIn as I can, because I think that gets into a lot of our volunteers that are in corporations and stuff see that a lot more than they might on Facebook or Instagram. So I think utilizing different social media networks is really helpful in reaching out to different groups and different constituencies throughout our area. So that's kind of how we utilize it.
Thank you so much, Donna. Thank you again to everyone who shared.